Declaration of Independence for the Empire of Morocco. Let it be known on this day of May 13th, 2024, that I, the duly elected Sultan, hereby declare the sovereign independence of the Empire of Morocco, whereas the complete national territory of the empire shall be decolonized through varying stages of advancement without any interruption. The Moorish Empire shall be entitled to enjoy an autonomous political status as an external state under the sovereign authority of the office of the Sultan, affirming that colonial administrations throughout the Empire of Morocco shall no longer have treaty power, legislative power, or extraterritorial jurisdiction over the Sharifian Empire and its Moroccan nationals without the express permission of the Sultan. Recalling that the Multilateral Act of Algeciras International Conference of April 7, 1906, recognized and affirmed the power and authority of the Sultan throughout the Empire of Morocco, whereas the signatory powers consented by ratification to the triple principle of the sovereign independence of His Majesty the Sultan, the integrity of his domains, and economic liberty without any inequality. Therefore, the Act of Algeciras shall continue to be the supreme law of the land throughout the Moorish Empire to settle any territorial or sovereign disputes. Moreover, let it be known that any subject of Morocco can renounce their naturalized status from foreign countries and federal governments per Article 15 of the Madrid Convention of July 3rd, 1880. Whereas the Moors have a human right to choose between the entire submission to the laws of the empire by application and acceptance by the Moorish government. The Moorish administration shall adhere to a modern constitution in the ancient land of the Moors. The constitution shall be known as the Empire of Morocco to serve as the organic will of the indigenous Moroccan people. The constitutional powers of the interdependent three branches shall constitute the core principles of the Moroccan nationals in harmony with our institutional act, whereas the Declaration of Independence and the enactment of the express constitution shall preserve our collective sovereignty, integrity, and prosperity through an organized dual society. It is important to note that the last known Sultan of Morocco and the centralized government of the empire were abandoned in 1956 by the French government and Mohammed V by the dissolution of the Treaty of Fez, recalling that Mohammed V became king of a new modern Uti Posidatis territory to be known as the Kingdom of Morocco in 1956. However, the high contracting party to the various Moorish treaties is the Empire of Morocco, and its legal personality shall preserve its distinct political status as a sovereign independent state. As the Sultan of Morocco, I declare that all other Moroccan territories are inferior to the Sharifian Empire. I further recognize that the naturalized Moors have always been the true heirs and successors to the sovereign administration of Morocco before any foreigners settled in the Moorish Empire. Anything contrary is notwithstanding for centuries of law and history. Furthermore, it is important to also note that the Treaty of Fez set forth certain obligations for the French Republic to assist the Moorish government to be the administrative authority and the judicial power throughout the Sharifian Empire. However, the French government denied the Moors their treaty rights to establish a new regime under the sovereignty of the Sultan, further provisions of the Act of Algeciras of 1906 and the Treaty of Fez of 1912. The French Republic's denial of the Moors' treaty rights has caused the Moors to remain colonized and naturalized by the signatory powers. This cause of inaction has led to the Moors' continued naturalized status under the civil and criminal jurisdiction of self-interested foreign colonists in Morocco. I'm convinced that the Moors are entitled to seek redress for any internationally wrongful acts constituted by colonists and obstructionists. Nevertheless, in closing, let it be known that the Empire of Morocco The office of Sultan and the Moorish government shall seek friendly diplomatic relations with all nations of the earth, recalling that the Act of Algeciras of 1906, the Covenant of the League of Nations of 1920, and the Charter of the United Nations of 1945 were all created to establish reforms of peace and security throughout the world. The Empire of Morocco shall play a significant part in resolving problems by means of political reforms, whereas the Act of Algeciras recognizes the legislative power and the adjudicative power of the Moorish government's original jurisdiction in matters of disputes between the states of the Sultan of Morocco. However, any high contracting party that has renounced their signature shall remain bound to Moroccan law and the customs of international law. Whereas I, the Sultan of Morocco, shall reign in the order of chaos that has plagued the Charter of the United Nations members and all other peace-loving nations. I hereby give my unwavering support to assist the Secretary General and the General Assembly in instituting political reforms to prevent disputes and punish bad actors. Whereas the Moorish Consular Court, the International Court of Justice, and the International Criminal Court shall be respected and protected by the Moorish Empire. The Empire of Morocco shall become a beacon of trust and equal partnership with all nations, both small and large. The Sharifian Empire shall seek immediate diplomatic relations with the colonial administrations, which have assumed the responsibility over trust territories, non-self-governing territories, and naturalized Moors. Lastly, the European states, the Arab states, and the Moorish government must find a way to cohabitate as good neighbors in the Empire of Morocco. Abdul Smith Al-Kabir, His Majesty the Sultan of Morocco, dated May 13, 2024. Thank you.